Hi YouTube. So I'm sure you recognize this as a K98. This is a German Mauser rifle, and I've recently fired it for the first time, and I realized that there was an issue both feeding the rifle or loading the magazine, as well as feeding the last round into the chamber. So I know that a lot of people have issues with their extractor on the bolt, and that the round doesn't go all the way up and into the extractor, and that prevents it from seating properly into the chamber. And this issue is nothing related to the extractor. So I'll show you what is happening to my rifle, and I'm going to be using live ammunition. And so if I try to load the round by just pressing it down, you see that it doesn't want to go in. It gets stuck. Right now it's stuck. I can't get it out. There. So that was me trying to just load it straight down. You know that this is a double stack magazine, right? And that one round sits here and then another round sits on top of this little ledge. So if I start loading from this little ledge and then roll the round over, it's fine. And then the second round goes in, no problem. You see that? If I then try to chamber this round and take it out, it's fine. But this last round gets stuck every single time. You see that? It's completely stuck. And the reason why is because the follower does not want to go down at all. Basically, all of this is now stuck, and I have to pull the round back and maybe seat it forward a little bit, and then maybe it will chamber like that. You see that? So very unpleasant when at the range. Nobody deserves to suffer this, and I usually load one at a time, because we all know that these floor plates are not easy to open, especially when you're at the range and when you don't have this tool, and sometimes I don't bring it with me. So it's really annoying having to deal with this, especially, like I said, I load one at a time, so I'm sitting there and I have to figure out how to load it first. And then I'm dealing with this issue where the round just gets stuck and I have to muscle it out. So makes for a really unpleasant trip, basically. So I'll show you what the problem is. If you take the bolt out and just try to depress the follower, it doesn't want to go down because it's hitting something. And when the last round, when it's in there, it's pushing the follower this way, right? So I know that the problem is probably on this side of my either receiver or my magazine box. So basically when the last round is in there, it's trying to get out between this piece of the follower, this little ledge, and the receiver. And because it pushes the follower this way, there's something on this side of the magazine box. I already figured it out and fixed it, and I actually broke it again just to show you. And for those of you that have the similar problem, will know how to fix it, unless you already figured it out. So what we're going to need to do is take out the floor plate and the follower. So now I'm going to try to show you that you see how the magazine box does not align with the receiver wall. Basically there's a step. I'll try to show you using a screwdriver. So if I try to ride the wall of the receiver into the magazine, the screwdriver hits it. You see that? That's why the follower cannot go down there, because the magazine box protrudes past the receiver wall like that. Okay, maybe. So this is what is causing the issue right here. This step is what makes this issue happen. So what we're going to need to do is just get rid of that step. And the way we do this is we need to remove the trigger guard by first removing the capture screws if you have them. And then removing the tank screws. Okay. And taking out the trigger guard magazine box. So when you look at this, you don't see that there is a problem. Not really. But if you actually pay attention and maybe, let me see if I can get it into a better angle for you. Do you see how this wall right here is bent in? It's not straight like that wall. It's bent in just slightly. You see that? It's bent in just a little bit, and that's what makes that step. So when the receiver and the magazine well are together, this sits inside more than the receiver wall, and that's why the follower, when it's in here, it simply hits it on this side and cannot go down anymore. And that's what makes that less round stick, because the follower just cannot move down past this little step. So all we need to do is just bend this out. And you can do this by simply using, I don't know, adjustable wrench pliers. It doesn't really matter, as long as you just go slow and don't bend it completely out, otherwise you're not going to be able to put it back in. But I usually start moving it in little chunks, and or moving it slightly from one side to the other, and bending it slightly as I move along. And now it should be much better than before. I'm looking at it and it looks like it's It's much straighter now. Much straighter. And it should not have a problem anymore. Yeah. So let's test it out. I'm going to put this back in. I'm actually not going to screw this down because there's no need, but I'm going to feel with my finger first if I feel the step, and I no longer do. So there is no step between the magazine wall and the receiver wall. So it should work flawlessly now. So I'm just going to close this down like that, and like I said, I'm not going to screw it down just now, but I'm going to try it and see if I can just depress the follower. It doesn't matter now which way I go, which way I push, the follower is free to move down. So I assume this should not be an issue anymore. So let's try it. First loading straight down, no problem. Second round, straight down, no problem. Now let's try to chamber one. This one is good, and this one used to stick. Not anymore. Let's try it again. Straight down. No problem. See, so all it was is the trigger guard magazine well, I guess, wall that was protruding past the receiver wall. So you can always check by just feeling where the two meet and seeing if there is a step one way or the other. You don't want the step going up and you don't want the step going down. When the follower moves down, there should not be a step on either side. It should move down freely. And when it comes up, there should not be a step on either side, so it can come up all the way and feed your rounds to the bolt. So you can tell right now there's no issue. So the problem is fixed. See? So hope it helps. Thanks.